Today is the third and final installment of my NYX formula review series. I have looked at every single lip product that NYX has put out from a formula perspective and have tried to break it down so you really understand the difference between one lipstick versus another, one gloss versus another, etc. If you've missed the other two videos, I will link those down below. First video, we looked at what I would consider to be regular bulleted type lipsticks. And then in the second video, we looked at all of their liquid lipsticks formulas. Third and final video today is focusing on all of their gloss formulas. And there's a couple of oddball sort of hydrating products thrown in here because I thought they fit better here than anywhere else. I'm going to give you a roundup on all the things that I think are important to know about these products. I wanted to give each product a rating. So each product is going to be given a star rating on a 1 to 5 scale. So you guys can see kind of how I think about these products at a glance. In my corresponding blog post down below. What you're going to find is pictures of every single product along with the swatches of the things that you're seeing in the video today. Star ratings, it's going to have the price, it's going to have the price per ounce, it's going to have the ingredients, it's going to have a summary of what NYX says this formula is about, and then my corresponding thoughts to those. It's also going to talk about scent and longevity, things like that. So hopefully this is handy for you guys to potentially bookmark and reference as you're running around shopping or standing in front of that giant wall of lip products at Ulta and feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the glosses. I feel weird to start a video about NYX glosses without talking about their most popular formula, and that is the Butter Gloss. This formula has been around for quite a while, and it is so well loved. And I have to say, just right out of the gate, it is well loved for a reason. This was the first gloss that I ever tried that made me think that I could actually like glosses. Historically, I tried glosses and they all felt sticky or goopy or just weird on my lips, and I really didn't like the feeling. This has a really lightweight gel texture. They're not sticky at all. They have a nice smoothing effect to the lips. They're lightly hydrating. I think a lot of the colors can be worn on their own, but I also think they pair beautifully over top of different lipsticks. So the Butter Gloss is an amazing formula. It also has an amazing shade range. There are 34 different Butter Gloss colors out there, which is absolutely incredible. They also retail for $5 a piece. You're getting 0.27 ounces in here, which equates to $18.52. So I think I said in my last video that a different product was the cheapest one that NYX had done. I was wrong. It is this. It is the Butter Gloss. So an incredible value. The other great thing about these is that they smell lovely. They have this really nice, sweet vanilla scent that doesn't have any trace of chemicals. But I think as far as the NYX products that they have done well that have a scent attached to them, this is definitely one of their better entries. So I have 5 shades of the NYX Butter Gloss. I actually purposely went out and picked up a darker shade for purposes of this review video. And while I think the formula is good, I don't necessarily love the shade I've got, but the other 4 are standbys that I have had in my collection for a long time. I've gone through multiple tubes of. I absolutely adore. So the first shade is a very light nude called Fortune Cookie. This is one that I definitely don't wear on its own. I think it works best paired over the top of different lip liners or lipsticks when you want a really sort of glossy, juicy lip, but you don't want a ton of extra color added. This is very, very nice. I did forget to mention in the formula intro for this is that these are all cream glosses. So none of the Butter Glosses are going to have any sort of sparkle or shimmer or anything else in it. Second shade I have is 05 Creme Brulee. This is a very pretty sort of nude pink color. This is one where I will actually wear this on its own when I want a super light wash of color and some gloss to my lips. These are pretty hydrating, so I feel like they're very comfortable to wear just on their own, especially in the wintertime when your lips might be feeling a little dry or dehydrated and you just want something simple to wear. A brighter pink that I typically wouldn't think I would enjoy, but I actually like quite a bit is the shade 04 Meringue. This is a very blue-based pink. In fact, it leans a little almost purpley. It's got so much blue in it. But for some reason, as a sheer wash of color on its own, there are days where I just really like this. When I have a more cool tone look on, or even on days like this where I'm wearing a gray sweater, I love this color paired with grays. The next shade I would recommend, and I think this is a shade that is going to be universally flattering and a ton of people like, and you've probably seen other YouTubers talk about, is number 15, Angel Food Cake. This is one of the sort of mid-toned mauve-y nudes that is just It's so easy to wear. It just pairs with so many different eye looks. And this shade in particular packs a decent pigment, so you actually feel like you're getting a pretty good saturated color on your lips. I also like to put this over nude lipsticks that I've put on that I feel like are a touch too warm for my particular eye look that day. If I ever have a warm nude lip that I'm like, too warm, it's just looking a bit orange next to the rest of my makeup, I will pop a little bit of this over the top and it kind of neutralizes that warmth and kind of makes it more of a true neutral shade, if that makes sense. And then this final shade I have is one of the dark ones, and this is the shade Ginger Snap. This is not a gloss shade that I would reach for on a regular basis. I don't typically love those darker glosses. It pairs well over darker shades, but to be honest, when I'm wearing a darker lip shade, I almost never want it to be glossy because I'm always worried about it smearing or smudging or feathering on my face. The darker butter glosses just historically haven't been my favorite. And then after trying this one again, it kind of reaffirmed my thinking on those. After the success of the butter gloss, NYX went and released something called the Intense Butter Gloss. And essentially what this is the same formula with a lot more pigment in it. So it almost ends up more like a lip lacquer. But unlike a lot of lip lacquers that are out on the market today that have a real stickiness to them, this maintains that very smooth gel-like texture. It has that same lovely vanilla smell that was in the original butter gloss. And I really do like this formula for, I would say, light to mid-tone shades. Once again, just personal preference. I don't find that darker lacquers work very well. And I don't think most people tend to love those darker lacquer colors. I'm speaking for the world right now. So take that with a grain of salt. I love the shade that I have. I just have one of these, and this is one I would consider purchasing more of if there was a shade that I thought I would wear on a regular basis. Now, I will say, as with other kind of line extensions or expansions that we've talked about in the past videos, this Intense Butter Gloss goes up in price. So when NYX launched the soft matte lip creams, they were one point. When they launched the soft matte metallics, they were the same container, but the price was more expensive. Same thing happens here. So the NYX Butter Glosses are $5. The Intense Butter Glosses are $6. You are getting the same amount of product in here, 0.27 ounces, but that bumps the overall price from the $18 per ounce in the regular gloss to $22 in this. Now, let's be clear. I really like counting pennies here because even at $22 an ounce, this is still one of the most affordable lip products out on the marketplace. So just for comparison's sake, I want to quickly throw up some other gloss prices up on the screen so you can see both high-end and drugstore. What's interesting to me is even brands like ColourPop and e.l.f., their price point is a lot more expensive, like double or triple the cost of these butter glosses and Intense Butter Glosses. One that caught me off guard was honestly the Fenty Gloss Bomb, because although it retails for $18, you are getting so much product in there that it actually ends up cheaper than ColourPop and Milani and Revlon and a lot of the other drugstore brands that are out there. So interesting side note, that is a heck of a value at Sephora. All that to say, this is just an incredibly affordable product. You get lots of product, you get an incredible price point. I really love these butter glosses, and for people like myself who hate sticky glosses, this is just a godsend. And one other butter lip product that I didn't even realize existed until I started doing my research is a butter lip balm. They have 8 of these out. It's a very basic range, lots of lights and nudes as we'd expect from a balm. These retail for $4 each. You're getting 0.14 ounces, so $28.57 per ounce. So what's interesting to me is that the butter gloss and the Intense Butter Gloss are very, very hydrating. And then the butter lipstick that we talked about on the first video is also very hydrating and comfortable. This is not that hydrating. I mean, I have lip balms that are way more hydrating than this. So when I saw this on the website and I ordered it, I thought to myself, ooh, this could be a really nice light tinted balm that's going to give me tons of moisture, like even more moisture than the butter products that are out there. And I would say, honestly, you're better off just getting a butter lipstick or using a butter gloss. I know this is only $4, but the pigmentation was slightly patchy for me. It lasted even less time than the other butter products. It has a light fruity smell, which isn't bad. It wasn't so intensely hydrating that I would say run out and get this over these other products. So the next product I want to talk about is kind of an interesting product. I got this one in a subscription box of some sort. I don't remember which one, but it's the NYX Whipped Fouette. And this is advertised to be used both on your lips and then also on your cheeks. So it's a really interesting texture. It feels like it has lots of dimethicones in it. So it has a real sort of silicone slip to it. I will admit, I don't love this on my lips. I feel like that really thick dimethicone silicone feeling on my lips just feels weird. The color's pretty. I mean, it's nicely pigmented. They only have 8 different shades of this, but I think it was in large part designed as colors that could be used on your cheeks, so that's certainly going to limit the shade range as well. I do think this works pretty well on my cheeks. It does blend out. I will say it never sets to a powder texture. I think this formula feels a little similar to that cushion product we talked about in the last video, where it almost feels like they have put some pigments in a face product, and I kind of feel like that's what they did here. You know how primers never really set down per se and feel like powder by the time you're done with them? At least most of them don't. That's the same with this. So this is a product that if I was going to use it on my cheeks, I think it blends out incredibly well. So don't get me wrong, you definitely get a really pretty blushed effect to your cheeks. And unlike many cream products, which have a hard time blending out or mess with your foundation, this one doesn't. But you're gonna need to set it with powder because it never really feels set on your cheeks no matter how long you wait. It has a really nice vanilla scent to it, and these retail for $6 a piece. There's 0.27 ounces of product in here, so that brings it to $22.22 as far as a price per ounce perspective. So I'm going to give this 2 out of 3 stars. It's not the worst thing I've ever tried, but there's definitely drawbacks to using this on both your cheeks and your lips. I feel like products that attempt to do more than one thing tend to fail at one of them. I felt the same way about the Bite Multi-Sticks that you could use on your lips, cheeks, and eyes. I felt like they failed on eyes and worked on cheeks and lips. This is meant to be used on lips and cheeks, and I feel like it just kind of does both of them okay. Hopefully that thought process is somewhat logical for you guys. Okay, so NYX only has one lip plumping option, and that is the Plump It Up Lip Plumper. These come in 9 different shades. There is some cream formulas, and then there's also some ones that have some shimmer in them. I ended up getting one that had a little bit of a micro shimmer in it. So this sort of peachy shade that has this sort of pink and peach blue sparkle in it doesn't really show up as anything besides clear. I think you can see that here. So here's what I would say about the formula. I don't really feel like it does much. It has sort of a light tingling action to my lips. It's nothing intense or bothersome. I really don't like those really burning glosses in order to plump your lips. So, you know, from that perspective, I didn't hate it, but I also don't feel like it really did anything. It is lightly sticky, so it's not my favorite feel on my lips. It's $5.50 and you get 0.27 ounces, so it's an affordable product. You're paying $20.37 per ounce. I can't think of a single reason why I would use this. It doesn't plump my lips. It doesn't really look great as a topper over other things. There's no color to it, so I can't wear it on its own. And then it's got a slight stickiness that's not my favorite. So I don't know. I'm giving this one 2 out of 5 stars. Once again, I don't think it's the worst product that I've ever tried, but I don't really feel like it delivers on its claims. And I don't really feel like it's a gloss that is really worth seeking out. One really interesting formula from NYX that I struggled to decide whether or not I wanted to put it in this gloss category or put it in my liquid lipstick category. Ultimately, I put it in this category because NYX calls it a lip oil, and that is their Slip Tease. It says it's a full color lip oil. And when you put it on your lips, it definitely has that sort of lip oil feel to it. It just glides on and it feels very hydrating on your lips. But then it does the strangest thing where it like settles into a satin, almost matte finish. So it starts out as an oil, it feels super oily and hydrating. And oily, I mean in a good way, like in a healthy, I'm making your lips better sort of way. And then after about a minute, it settles into something that's almost like a satin matte finish. It's super strange. This is almost completely transfer proof, but your lips still have a little bit of that slip to it, even after it's set down on your lips. I found that this lasted 4 to 6 hours and made it through meals pretty well. And then, unlike a lot of liquid lipsticks, this one actually reapplies really easily. I think because it has that lip oil in it. When you go and you put a second coat on, it doesn't get goopy or crumbly or thick feeling on your lips. It just feels like you've put something else lightly hydrating on your lips. These retail for $6.39. You're getting 1.3 ounces, so you're paying about $51.46 for them per ounce. So once again, I would say that's average drugstore prices. I love the color I have. I have shade 08 Low Key, which is once again one of those really pretty warm nude shades that I think is incredibly flattering on so many people. This is unscented, so as a result, I think I've said this in some of my other videos, you are smelling the dimethicones and the silicones in the product, which have a slight chemically scent to them. So if I was going to recommend or change one thing about this product, it would be that NYX adds some sort of fragrance over top of it, mint or vanilla or fruit or something to mask that sort of chemically smell. That being said, once it's on my lips, I don't smell it, I don't taste it. Unfortunately, it only comes in 12 shades and they're mostly neutrals with a few pops of color. I am absolutely going to go browse for these at my local Ulta and see if there's any other colors that I want to try, because I just think this is such a cool formula. If you are a liquid lipstick hater, but you occasionally like a matte look, you need to try these. They're incredibly comfortable, and I can't think of any even high-end counterpart that acts and feels like this on my lips. So as if it weren't totally obvious, I'm giving this 5 stars out of 5. I love it. Other classic NYX gloss formula is their Mega Shine lip glosses. Similar to the Butter Gloss, these have been out for a while. There's a huge shade range. There's 35 different shades in this format, ranging from the frostier shades, the metallics, to the more classic cream stains. I think these have a nice medium coverage to them, which means they layer well, or you could wear them on your own. This is an interesting formula in the sense that I think it actually lasts a decent amount of time, but it doesn't feel overly sticky. Once again, I hate that feeling of like pressing my lips together and feeling like my lips are sticking. I just, drives me nuts. So any gloss that does that for me is just like immediately to the side in my book. But I also recognize that those are the kinds of glosses, those stickier glosses, that last a long time. The gel formulas like the Butter Gloss tend to fade a lot more quickly on your lips. This is kind of a nice in the middle. So it's not as lightweight and gel-like as the Butter Gloss, but it's definitely not as sticky and heavy as a lot of the other glosses out there. Honestly, I think what this gloss is going to boil down to is one thing. Do you like the scent of cherry starbursts? Yes? Then you'll love this. No? You're gonna hate this. So this has an incredibly strong fruity cherry smell. I mean, it's potent, and there's no mistaking that very artificial cherry smell to these lip glosses. I don't like cherry flavored candy. I love cherries, but I hate any sort of cherry flavored candy. Not a fan of the scent of these. So I have to put that aside because I know not everybody's going to have my same sort of visceral reaction to a cherry smell. The price point is great. They're $5. You get 0.37 ounces in here. So this is an incredibly, incredibly affordable priced product, just like the Butter Glosses. I have 2 frosty shades and a cream. The first shade I have is 135 Beige Pearl. This is just a light sort of champagne color. This looks really pretty, tapped in the center of your lips, blended out over top of other things. I don't think it's necessarily my favorite on its own. One that I think you could potentially wear on your own, but once again looks very pretty paired over the top of things, is shade 145 Salsa. It's just a really nice soft pink. And then the shade that I actually enjoyed wearing the most, even on its own, is shade 160 Tea Rose. I think this is the shade that Jessica Braun loves and repurchases. So for what it is, for the price point, I do really, really like it. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars because I think that this scent is going to be incredibly polarizing for people, whereas some scents you put them on and you fade and you don't really notice. I smelled this all the time. So I put this on and I was smelling cherry for hours, right? And then on top of that, I got a little bit of that cherry sweet taste in my mouth whenever I would lick my lips, which, you know, for somebody who doesn't like fake cherry taste, not a pleasant experience. So I just feel like there are better glosses on the market. I think that it's an average product. Do I hate it? Well, kind of because of the cherry scent, but putting that aside and thinking about it just from a formula perspective, do I hate these? No. I just think they're average. I think there are better things out there now from ColourPop and from the NYX line that are worth looking at instead of these. So this spring, NYX released a new formula, and that is their Duo Chromatic Shimmer Lip Glosses. I ordered this online from Ulta because they weren't in the store yet. And as soon as I saw that NYX had released a bunch of new lip products for spring, I was kind of like, crap it all. I was ready to film this and now I need to test again. I ordered these sight unseen off of the website, and I got the first shade, the new Normal, and I don't remember what I thought this shade was going to be when I first looked at it online. I did not expect this sort of baby pink sort of color, and it has an interesting sort of green shift to it. So the shift is really pretty, but I got this color and I was like, oh man, I don't even want to review this. I hate this color. Like, how am I going to review something appropriately when I only have one of them and I hate the color? So I bit the bullet and I went and bought a second shade. And I'm kind of glad I did because now I have some comparisons here. The second shade that I got was Gypsy Dream. So it's this purpley shade. There's a real difference between these two formulas in terms of how they achieved that duochrome effect. With the shade the new Normal, the pink is a pearl with a green shift, but it is all from pearl. There's absolutely no glitter in it whatsoever. In the shade Gypsy Dreams, that shift is being achieved completely through glitter. Color aside, let's talk about the formula. So this formula, I think, is very, very similar to the kind of strobing toppers that we have seen coming out from a lot of different brands, like Bite Beauty did some prismatic toppers, and then more recently, Huda launched some strobing lip toppers. And I had a chance to test a couple of hers through some lip kits that I got, and I would say this formula is really close to duping those Huda glosses. So with those strobing toppers like the Huda one and like the Bite one, I don't really like wearing them all over my lips on their own. In fact, I don't even really like wearing them all over my lips thickly to get a full opaque color. With the Huda ones, with the Bite ones, and with these, you get a full opaque color when you put it on its own. I really do like these, however, tapped into the center of my lips and blended out to kind of draw a little emphasis to the center of my lips, which is what I've done today. So on my lips today, I'm wearing one of the NYX matte lipsticks. This is the shade 30 Aria. And then I took this pink shade that I thought I was gonna totally freaking hate and tapped it in the middle of my lip and blended it out a little bit, and all of a sudden this baby pink that I don't like at all, fully opaque on my lips, looks really pretty. I don't know, I'm having fun playing with both of these, but I don't feel like I will ever use them as on their own or put them all over my lips. I really like a thin amount kind of blended into the center of my lips because then I don't feel that thickness. So these retail for $7.99. You are only getting 0.08 ounces, so this is kind of an expensive formula. For NYX, it's $99.88 an ounce. So if you've been looking at the Huda ones or the Bite ones, but you just can't bring yourself to pull the trigger and get one of those because the price is kind of high for something you're not sure you're going to use all the time, I don't know. I would recommend biting the bullet and paying $7.99 for one of these, or waiting for a sale so that you can get them even more deeply discounted. I just think that they're really interesting and I'm having fun playing with them. Okay, so we are to our last NYX lip gloss formula, and I didn't mean to do this, but we're going to end on a bit of a Debbie Downer note. So this is the NYX Strictly Vinyl. This just came out for spring as well, and they released this with like 8 different sort of grungy shades. So this is one of those lip lacquers. It's incredibly pigmented. It's very sticky. It's very thick. My problem with this is like, I don't want to wear dark, sticky glosses. Like these are the kinds of ones where your hair catches, you go outside and the wind blows and your hair catches and sticks to your lips, and then when you pull it away, you end up with like dark streaks down the side of your face. I don't love a sticky gloss. That's me personally, but beyond that, I don't really feel like this whole lip lacquer, vinyl lip kind of super high intense gloss is great or very practical in dark colors, and that's all they released in this line. These retail for $7.99. You're getting 0.11 ounce, so that equates to $72.64, so a little bit above average. The shade that I have here is Baby Doll. I tried to get what I thought was going to be the most neutral and or wearable shade from this lot, and it's still too dark. In fact, it's a lot darker and a lot more brown than the tube actually looks, which kind of sucked as well. I tried wearing this. I didn't enjoy it. I had to take it off, and it just left a sort of sticky residue on my lips even after I wiped it off. Like I had to go in with an oil cleanser to really get all that sticky residue off. And then, like many of the other products we talked about, there's no added scent to it, so you're getting that sort of dimethicone silicone smell coming through. Nothing noticeable on the lips, doesn't taste like chemicals, but not exactly pleasant either. So I don't know, this is going to be another 1-star product for me. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like things like this? Do you like these vinyl lipsticks? I feel like they've been coming out in spades lately, and they're really opaque and really sticky, and I just worry about the transfer left and right. So, I mean, NYX is definitely following on board with a trend that I've seen, you know, Too Faced put out and a few other brands. So, I don't know. I was not a fan of these. I don't like the formula. I don't like the color range. This is just a 1-star product for me. That wraps it up. We have been through every NYX formula out there. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I did want to say there were 2 marble lipsticks that came out as part of the NYX spring line that I didn't pick up in review because they launched those as limited edition. And I talked to the girl at Ulta, and they had gotten like 2 in of each color. And she basically said, yeah, these are in and out. So we're going to try and sell these, and then we're not going to get any more in. And then they're not going to be available on our website for very long. So because of that, I chose not to put those into this review. So sorry about that. They are out there. If you're interested in a marbly lipstick, check them out. They're cool to look at. I can't imagine they are super practical on the lips, but hey, I could be wrong. So if you like this video, make sure you check out the other 2 and get a full breadth of opinions and information on all the formulas that NYX has put out. Make sure to check out the blog to download the spreadsheet with all the information and also images. And I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.